We're back in Italy at one of the most popular stop-offs on the Legends Tour. We're in the stunning Puglia region here at San Domenico Golf. Hello and welcome to the Sergio Melpignano Senior Italian Open. Can't beat an Italian coffee, can you? And 2 years ago, here at San Domenico, you couldn't beat the man sat next to me for a coffee. James Kingston, what's it like being back at a venue that stirs so many good memories for you?
Yeah, it's awesome. You know, when I was really disappointed last year when we played the Italian Open, not disappointed where we played, but the fact that we didn't come back to an event where you won your first tournament.
Your first win in 65 attempts when it was here. What are the most memorable moments of that week for you?
Yeah, it's just, I think it's getting that monkey off your back. You know, I've been knocking on the door and it just wouldn't open. But to eventually come down and get the job done was something that I was looking forward to for quite some time.
Well, in terms of presenting you with some memories, maybe some emotions too, a little something for you to watch here on this laptop if you press that space bar.
It's 2 putts from here to win now.
Well, he's used both of them. It was a fine shot in. It's a great win, an emotional win, I'm sure, for James.
Yep, because he's a champion on the Legends Tour for the first time as James Kingston takes the Senior Italian Open.
How does that feel watching that back?
Special, you know, and it's nice to become emotional about it because it wasn't just a win. The respect that my fellow players had, knowing that you've been knocking on the door so many times and just couldn't get over the line. They all stayed and they waited to congratulate me and share the moment. And those are the things that become more special than the win.
Well, have a great week and in the nicest way, let's hope to see some tears of joy again on Saturday, shall we?
That would be awesome, especially when the Springboks beat New Zealand, especially.
Cheers.
Cheers, man. Thanks.
With just 4 events remaining this season, here's how the MCB Road to Mauritius shapes up. And James Kingston sitting just outside the top 10 in 12th spot. It's the dominant Peter Baker, 3 wins already this season, who is top of the pile. But also with 3 wins, Adilson da Silva trying to chase him down. Philip Archer has had another fine season, and special mentions to Greg Hutchin and Bradley Dredge in their debut seasons. It's a strong field here at San Domenico as players battle out for those top places in the rankings and try to ensure a place in the limited field in Mauritius for the MCB Tour Championship. But what sort of challenge does the golf course offer these guys? I asked the 2021 champion. So tactically, how do you take on this golf course?
It's not that demanding off the tee, but obviously what protects us is the wind, and that's what we had a few years back, and I believe we're going to get some of it again this week. So you know, obviously got to, like any other golf course, put the ball in play. The greens are quite quick. It's so easy to get the ball to run off the green, and that makes for a really hard chip, especially when you're chipping downwind.
Yeah, the wind is, as you say, wide open here. It's the main defence of this golf course.
Absolutely. Yeah, and you've just got enough rough to get your attention, you know, because you lose control out of hitting the ball in the rough, trying to hit it in the right spot on the greens. It's got enough undulation to just really make it tricky when you find yourself out of position.
Later on in the show, we catch up with one of the form players on tour, Philip Archer. And we look back at that memorable Italian Ryder Cup with a few Ryder Cup legends. But first of all, let's get to the action from the early rounds with your commentary team of Warren Humphreys and, first of all, Michael McMullen.
Thanks, James, and let's start our roundup with James Kingston. Tricky distance for this bunker shot at the short third on day 1. But par was in no doubt after he'd played it this well. More to do with this par-saving putt, playing the 5th. It all contributed to a 69, which was followed by 70 the next day, for a total of 5 under. But that's 7 behind.
For the Brazilian, who has already had 3 wins on tour this season, it was another impressive start for Adilson da Silva. Well, he won of France a few weeks back. He opened with a pair of 65s. This week it was another 65 in round 1, followed by a 71. But at 8 under par, he is nicely getting into the groove.
Keith Horn's opening 67 was a fine start. Birdie here at the 8th helped the South African match that score in the more testing conditions thrown up on day 2.
Englishman Andrew Rate has had a couple of top 10s this season, but hoping for great things this week, as he opened up with a blistering 8 under par 64 on day 1 and followed that with a 70 on day 2. Little wonder he looks so happy as the putts start to drop.
Rate had shared the first round lead with Peter Baker, the player of the season so far, whose birdie on 8 was part of his opening 64.
When he got to the 17th on day 2, strong wind from the left, 194, the 17th is playing, out with the 4-iron, not many people hitting this green, but how about this shot from Baker?
Yet another moment to remember for him in 2023, and it's the 16th hole-in-one he's had.
And that's amazing, and the 12th hole-in-one of the season on the Legends Tour. And look at the delight, Sanderlin congratulating him, Andrew Rate there, also giving him the thumbs up. Just pure delight written all over his face.
So that 4th win of the season is a very realistic prospect now. Baker leads by 2 over Rate and Horn, with no doubt about the standout moment so far.
It was all of a good 4-iron. I thought if it hit it really well, I might get it up to the flag. Anyway, hit a great shot, and really pleased with it, thinking it's a couple of feet past the hole. And it wasn't until we got about 50 yards from the green realised it had gone in, which obviously a massive bonus element of luck with that. But no, it was, certainly my shot of the day for sure. It's always a good position. I always say that if you can have a chance to win the last day, it's always a good thing. So we just have to go out, play a lot better than I did today. I need to do that, and see what happens.
Strong winds had made things so tough and testing for the players on day 2, but they woke on the morning of the final round to much more appealing conditions.
So it's finally poised with some real quality in the chasing pack. Players looking to overtake our leader, Peter Baker, a man who's had an incredible season and has been impressive so far this week in setting the pace. Let's get you out onto the golf course.
Yes, and with the weather taking a turn for the better on day 3, Warren, some good early moves out there.
You're absolutely right, and the putter's not always been Paul Eel's best friend this season, but with 10 birdies in the first 2 rounds and bolstered by his birdie at the second, here at the third, another absolute belter. So maybe back to best friends with the flat stick.
Remarkable stuff from Sheffield's Malcolm Mackenzie. At the age of 62, he started the day just 4 shots off the lead, then had an early birdie at the second, and another here on 5, which was so nearly even better.
Following on from a pair of 67s, it's been a mixed start for South African Keith Horn. Par, birdie, bogey. So this birdie putt that just wriggled its way in puts him at par for his round through 4 holes.
If James Kingston was to win this title again, he'd have to come from 7 back. Birdie to open, followed by eagle here at the long second. Added up to just the sort of start he'd have hoped for.
What a season it's been for Peter Baker. 3 wins, twice second, a third, and 33 rounds so far this year, 21 of them sub 70. He just keeps knocking the flag out of the ground, and after that approach, he's 2 under through 4.
Kingston gave one back at the 5th, but then birdied all of the next 5 holes to be 7 under for the day, and now just 2 behind Baker. At 12 o'clock, play was halted as the Legends Tour came together in silent tribute to Mauricio Molina, a winner on this tour just 2 years ago, following his recent passing at the age of 56.
A sad moment indeed, but it's back to the golf, and here at the 5th, 383 yards, a par 4, and you can see a hole that's dominated by water all the way down the left side and in front of the green. A hole that requires accuracy off the tee. It's not about power here. And Peter Baker out with the utility club, just trying to keep it down the right-hand side. And you can see the club speed under 100 miles an hour. That just goes to show that he's trying to keep it on the short grass. Let's hope he's just managed to do that.
Now Keith Horn, who's been close to winning this season, lost a playoff to Adilson de Silva in Austria in May in the season opener.
Club speed there, also just on the 100-mile-an-hour mark. He has quiet power, the South African. Beautiful looking swing, but plenty of control in his game.
Now Silva, who only turned 50 at the start of 2022, but has made such a fine start to life among the seniors.
Yes, normally so accurate, as you can see. Green's holding nicely, that one right over the top of the flag. Excellent control once again. Back to the 5th, and Rate out with a long iron here. Good position at the top of the swing, drilling this one, trying to play a little bit more of a stinger maybe. And that's hitting the downslope, so getting a little bit of extra run out there. The carry 214, similar to the other two, but just under 240. That's an excellent long iron.
Now Sunnison had a birdie at the 2nd, as most players seem to be doing today. Otherwise all pars over the first half dozen holes. Playing on a course where he won the Challenge Tour Grand Final 18 years ago now. Well, that should be his 2nd birdie of the round.
Baker then with the approach, just a little wedge. You can see the wind off the left, but also helping. He just can't stop hitting it over the top of the flag. He's such a good all-round player, Baker.
Playing such relentlessly good golf at the age of 56. So we go back to Horn.
Ball just a little bit above his feet there, so that'll help him hold the ball up into that slight left to right wind, but he's got a lot of spin on that. Stay there. Heart in mouth moment.
Now Rate got off to a fast start, birdies at the 2nd and 3rd, but then gave both of those shots back at the 4th, looking to repair some of the damage here on 5, and that'll help.
A beautiful rhythmical swing there, and an excellent result. I think we can give him that one. De Silva now after the approach on 7, birdie putt here. Oh, and just underhit it. Maybe a little firmer on the same line, he would have made that.
Now back to Horn, just managed to avoid the water on 5, but still work to do to turn this into a par. And that's not his greatest effort, so that'll be a nerve tester.
So after that lovely approach, this to get to 10 under for Sunnison. Yeah, nicely pops that one in. His 2nd birdie of the day. So he's going along quite smoothly. No bogeys on the card. 2 birdies. Good golf.
Peter Baker throughout this season has shown himself to be a great front runner. He's showing it again today. 2 birdies already. This for another, which would put him 3 clear.
Yeah, it's just a little bit tentative with that one. Don't know whether there was a little bit of upper body movement, but not looking happy about the putt, that's for sure.
Now Keith Horn looking to complete what's been a fairly eventful par at the 5th.
Well
And having so nearly got wet with his approach, he'll be happy enough with that and just move on.
He's having to dig a little bit deep there for Horn. Doesn't have to dig deep for this one. Rate, that's just a little tap in for his birdie, so nicely done for the Englishman.
And he's now back to within 3 shots of the lead. Kingston couldn't extend his run to 6 birdies in a row, so Baker's tap-in par is enough to keep him 2 clear. Still much ground to cover though, as he chases yet another Legends Tour win at the Sergio Melpignano Senior Italian Open.
Welcome back to highlights of the Sergio Melpignano Senior Italian Open here at San Domenico. One of the players who's proven to be one of the most consistent performers on tour is Philip Archer. Last year he finished 7th in the rankings in his debut season. This year he currently sits in 5th place. And earlier this week I caught up with him to find out how much he's enjoying life on the Legends Tour. Second season on the Legends Tour. How have you been finding it so far?
Yeah, loving it. It's a lot more relaxed than the main tour and stuff. It's less weeks, so you're not out for 32, 33 weeks of the year. It's just 16, 17 weeks, so it's no, it's great. I was planning for it and stuff.
Been going well so far, hasn't it? It's been good form.
I never stopped playing. That was the key, really. Once I came off tour, I went into regional golf and national golf and got into coaching and stuff. But love the competing side of it again. So when I came out here, I wasn't really starting again. It was just keeping playing.
Surprised at all at how competitive it is here amongst you and the guys?
No, I knew. I mean, there's quality players out here, so I knew it was still going to be massive competitive. And you see the passion in everybody still out here, wanting to compete, wanting to play good golf. So yeah, I never doubted it was going to be competitive and good standard of golf.
That's good to see the form continuing.
Yeah,
enjoy
hopefully
the rest of the season and the rest of the Legends Tour.
Thank you very much.
Well, a second round 73 just about ended any chance of this being the week for Archer to claim his first win on the Legends Tour. But an eagle 2 at the 9th sparked his final round into life, and he ended up having this putt for a closing 65. Didn't quite happen, but 9 under should have him in or around a top 10 finish. All continuing a fine second season on this circuit for a man who was, at one stage of his career, ranked among the top 100 players in the world.
It's been steady play for Adilson de Silva over the front 9. He bogeyed the 4th, but got it back at the 6th, so out in 37 level par. But that deft chip at the 10th gets him under par for the first time today.
David Shacklady's start of 4 straight pars saw him lose ground, but he birdied the 5th, and after this excellent bunker shot at the long 6th, he would knock in that putt to pick up another.
Spain's Carl Sunderson started the day at 8 under par with birdies at the 2nd and the 7th, and here at the 9th he was flying along in style, but he did bogey the 11th, so drops back to 10 under.
2 behind Peter Baker when they teed off together in the final group. Keith Horn was in the same position when he got to the 8th, and with a lovely touch here he moved even closer to Baker, a 4th birdie already in this final round.
As for Peter Baker, since his early flurry of birdies, he has parred the 5th and the 6th, and this beautiful approach putt gives another par at the 7th. He remains at 14 under, but no longer in the lead.
Yes, they've all been overtaken now. 3 more birdies in the last 4 holes have got James Kingston out in front, and at 10 under for the day, 3 more to finish would mean 59, Warren.
And I bet that's in the back of his mind as well. Third shot here to this long par 5. Good for length, just dragged it away a little, so a longer putt than he would have been hoping for.
David Shacklady, 3 times a winner on the Legends Tour. The last was more than 5 years ago now. Beat Jeff Remesey in a playoff in Paris.
Slightly unusual swing, gets it a little bit across at the top, but makes a good delivery into the ball, and that's an excellent shot.
Now Andrew Marshall, a newcomer on this scene, only turned 50 in late August.
Yeah, it's nice to be a rookie at 50, isn't it? Good looking swing though for Marshall. That's not a bad shot. That wind off the right.
So James Kingston is on 59 watch, needs 3 birdies to finish to do it. So this is a big moment in that quest, and also of course in the race for the title. But he knew quite early there, Warren.
Yeah, well, I suppose when you've had 9 birdies and an eagle, you expect everything to go in, don't you? But you can't hold everything, James.
Now back to Andrew Marshall. Never won on the regular tour, twice finished second.
Nice putt, good speed, wasn't it? So he gets to 10 under. You're all making it look pretty easy out there today, but I can tell you it's far from easy.
Shack Lady, he was never even really a regular tour player. Did play occasionally in some of the big events, but was more a man for the regional tournaments, and he's having a wonderful time now that he's moved into the Legends ranks, but didn't give that too much of a chance.
He was given a nice read by Marshall, but just forgot to hit it online, and they're the ones that always seem to get you in the solar plexus. Why didn't I hit it harder?
So, to the penultimate hole for James Kingston.
The 17th, the hole that Peter Baker holed in one, you can see dominated by bunkers down the right and one on that left side. Green just set at an angle, so it's slightly awkward for the players. Again, medium iron for the players playing today. Never easy to hit this green. And he's just let it leak a little bit to the right. Seems a popular spot this week for most players to miss that green.
There was so much talk during the recent Ryder Cup about how long it had been since the Europeans had been beaten at home. Peter Baker was part of that defeated team in '93. Had a great tournament himself, though, 3 wins out of 4.
Always an exciting player to watch, Baker. Love his aggressive style. Once again, Horn using the putter from a long way off the green, and I think this is something that amateurs can learn a great deal from. Make the game simple if you can. Why chip it? Yes, but when there's an easier way to do it, use the flat stick.
Now Kingston, you probably feel he needs to get one more birdie, but that's likely to have to wait until 18. Right now, he needs to make sure he doesn't drop a shot, and this is a tester.
It is playing out of that little fluffy bit of grass, but he's controlled the shot very well indeed. Should make his par, but as we know, there are no shoulds in this game.
So Baker, with this to be out in 34, which would be 3 under. Never got near it though.
Yes, doesn't seem to have his putting boots on, does he, so far today? Few anxious looks.
Horn also with a putt to be out in 34, but from much closer range.
Little short backswing, but he manages to pop that one in. He's holed a few like that so far over the front 9, so well done, Keith. Now back to the man of the moment, Kingston on 17. Nice little chip, but got this 3.5 footer to knock in for his par. Well done. Yes, good save in the end on a tough par 3. He won't mind that at all.
And with Baker stalling a bit, it's not unthinkable that Kingston might already have arrived at the winning score. But if he can squeeze out just one more birdie, he'll have a really good chance. We'll see the final hole of Kingston's marvellous final round here at San Domenico in just a moment. Welcome back to the Sergio Melpignano Senior Italian Open at San Domenico. And in a country whose reputation for fine food, spectacular settings and an all-round good time is so well deserved, the professionals and amateurs were given a night to remember at the adjoining Borgo Ignazia Hotel as they experienced a proper Italian festa.
It's just a month ago that Team Europe stormed to victory over the United States in a thrilling Ryder Cup on Italian soil. We've got several former Ryder Cup players here in the field this week, so we thought we'd ask them about that victory.
Absolutely sensational, wasn't it? Right from the word go, right from the foursomes. I mean, they were just got on top and stayed on top, and yeah, I thought it was a tremendous performance. Right from when obviously took over in slightly difficult circumstances, Luke. I think he did a great job from the start. I think he got everybody together. I think he nailed it on the speeches, and then from then on we never looked back. I think he did a really good job, and obviously engaged with all the players and the families as well. So it was a real team effort.
If I go back to 1999, that was the year I played in the States, and after that I haven't been to any of the Ryder Cups, and this year I decided to go there and see it from the other side as a spectator. And I have to say it was very impressive to see the whole setup and how everything worked really well.
I was there all week, and I got to say it just got one step better, got even greater than it's been before, I think, and the crowds were amazing. So, you know, we came out of that victorious, and that was important to get the Ryder Cup back to Europe, and fantastic for European golf.
One of the best Ryder Cup I see. The European players play really, really good. It's so new for us, and I hope in the new year coming, it can improve for tourists, for players coming play golf in Italy, in Rome, in every part of the Italian.
Yes, Rocca had such a great Ryder Cup story, didn't he? The hole-in-one at Oak Hill in '95, the singles win over Tiger Woods at Valderrama. And Philip Price also knows about beating an American superstar in the Ryder Cup. That win over Phil Mickelson, probably his most famous moment. But 21 years on, he's struggling a bit here. And despite setting up a birdie chance on 13, he would fail to convert. So 7 behind, he looks to be out of it now.
For the rookie Andrew Marshall, he managed to hold this putt on the 10th to go 12 under. But unfortunately, he would drop a shot at the next, the par 3 11th. So would fall back to 11 under.
David Shacklady started for home with his 3rd birdie in half a dozen holes and gave himself the opportunity for another at the short 11th. He would miss the putt though, so time is perhaps starting to run out for his title challenge.
When Keith Horn made the turn, he'd already had 4 birdies and 1 bogey on his card, but unlike the first 2 days when he birdied the 10th, the South African could only manage a par, so he stays at 13 under for the tournament.
A fast start from overnight leader Peter Baker had given way to 5 pars in a row as he went out in 35. So he now trailed by 1, and although he set up this chance to get back into a share of the lead, the putt was missed.
And the putter was cool again on the 12th when he underread the borrow on this 12-footer for a birdie. The putt's just not dropping today for Mr. Number 1.
Well, at least half a dozen players still have reason to believe they can win this, but it's James Kingston leading them all, 10 under for the day, as he reaches the final hole, Warren.
And a good final hole it is. 450 yards. You can see there's a wasteland area which they have to play over to a very undulating green, well protected by bunkers. And a slightly awkward lie here for Kingston, ball a long way above his feet. Has to watch out that he doesn't overdraw this one, just holding on with the left hand. Oh, what a shot. What a shot. What a round of golf he's played today.
And although we won't know one way or the other for a while, that could be the putt to win it.
Thomas Gergler playing here at the 15th, second shot.
Yeah, hasn't really got into it today, just 1 under for his round, but he'll have that to get into double figures under par for the week.
So to the 13th, the par 3, 174 yards. Good, strong par 3s on the course here. Protected by those bunkers down the left-hand side, hollow short of the green. So Horn needs to fly this the whole way.
Looking to get some momentum back. Was going very nicely, but 5 pars in a row now.
Well, he's on the dance floor, but some way from the hole. Tricky downhiller left for him. Now Baker, his iron play been so impressive. Not only this week, but throughout the season. Well, some way from the hole. Long, slow uphill putt coming up.
Big moment then for James Kingston. Out in 31. This is to be back in 30. And that completes a wonderful final round of 61 for James Kingston. A total of 16 under par. 200 shots, which could be worth €50,000.
Oh, that's just a remarkable round of golf. Great play from Kingston. But back on the 15th, Mackenzie. Oh, and he's managed to find some form with the flat stick. So well done, Malcolm. Former winner, of course, of the French Open.
Yeah, it took him over 500 appearances on the European Tour to get his one and only win. The only player you can ever say that about.
Just to tickle this one down the slope here for Horn. This putt all about pace. And he's just been a little bit too defensive, but it's okay. He'll make his par.
Googly started very well this week with a 66. Didn't quite keep it going with a 70 and has faded out of contention today. That one, though, gets him to 10 under.
Yeah, second birdie of the back 9. Always good to be in double figures under par. Now Baker, can he find a way to hold a putt? Nothing's gone his way so far since the turn. Oh, can you believe it? It's just found a way to wriggle in. He's not giving up, is he? He's going to chase Kingston the entire way.
So could that be the turning point that Peter Baker's been looking for? Remember, he still hasn't dropped a shot all day, and he's now back to 1 behind with 5 holes to play. James Kingston has done all he can now with one of the great final rounds in Legends Tour history. Is it going to be enough? It's the final round of the Sergio Melpignano Senior Italian Open, where James Kingston hopes to become this tournament's second multiple champion. The first was Clark Dennis, whose wins came back-to-back in 2017 and 18. 3 birdies in the middle of the back 9 transformed his final round this time, and although he would miss this chance for another on the last, 68 for 11 under sees the Texan poised for a top 10 finish.
It's been a roller coaster ride for Andrew Rate today. After an encouraging start, he doubled the 4th and had bogeys on 10 and 11. But that putt at the 15th gets him back to even par for his round.
Rate isn't going to win this now, but Keith Horn still might. And by snapping a run of 5 successive pars, with this birdie put on 14, the South African has got back to where he started the day, just 2 off the lead.
Paul Eales has had 7 birdies in his final round and 4 on the bounce on the back 9 for his closing 66 and his best finish of the season so far. A sterling team performance.
Overnight leader Peter Baker has visibly become increasingly frustrated as the round has gone on, and yet he's only 1 off the lead, with a chance on 14 to draw level. Another one gets away from him though, as the Baker body language continues to deteriorate.
And you just have to have some sympathy for Peter, as here on 16, another birdie. Just missing. It's just one of those maddening days when nothing goes in. And when you start missing them, you can't even begin to see a way that you can hole a putt. And he seems to be in that mood at the moment.
6 birdies in a row to start the back nine had raised the prospect of a 4th win this year for Adilson de Silva, but those hopes now rested on holding his approach to the final green, which the Brazilian wasn't able to do.
But after such a wonderful shot, this putt to be home in 28. What a fantastic way to finish his round. A 65 to close. Hats off to you, sir, with the best back nine of the season to boot.
A fine late effort, but De Silva's out of it now, so just 3 players are left with a chance to win. Baker and Horn both have 2 holes left to make up the ground on Kingston.
Well, Gerger playing his second shot to the 18th, putting in a strong finish. We saw him birdie 15. He's birdied 16 as well. 3 on the 17th. And that's a gorgeous approach to the 18th into a bit of breeze.
Well, Baker's had a couple of landslide wins on the Legends Tour already this season, and when you look at the way he's played tee to green today, he could have had another one in this instance if the putter had been working, but still got a chance to take the title.
Yes, can't replicate what he did on day 2 with that hole-in-one, but he's got it on the dance floor. Outside chance of a 2.
We mentioned earlier Malcolm Mackenzie's win at the French Open back in 2002. He had shoulder surgery around that time, which really put pay to him having a consistent career after that. Great to see him still playing so well in his 60s.
Yeah, I do remember that second shot that he hit at Paris National over the water. Legendary stroke he played there.
Now Keith Horn has got to make a birdie finish. And he knows he's got no chance of doing that now, so he'll need to make that and then hope for a miracle at the last.
He's leaving himself another nasty 4-footer there. Don't want too many of those. Gergler now for a closing birdie on the 18th. Little bit of left to right in this one. Oh, well done, sir. That's 3 birdies in the last 4 to close out the round. Very good 68.
And he finishes on 12 under. That'll be a nice check for him.
Mackenzie. Little putt here to close out for his par on the 18th. Nicely done.
And when you're in your 60s, what an effort to shoot all 3 rounds in the 60s.
Well, this man's had lots of rounds in the 60s this season. A third of his rounds have been sub 70, and that just so close. How did that not drop? You can't stare him into the hole, Peter. Sometimes it's just not your day.
Well, we're all marvelling about Kingston 61. Good day on the greens, and Baker wouldn't have been far off that himself. Now, Andrew Marshall has had a bit of an up and down day, but it's all part of the settling in process. Very new to the Legends Tour.
Lovely looking swing though he's got there. And a good shot into the green. Great rhythm.
In all probability, it's all too late now for Keith Horn. Needed a birdie here on 17. Never gave the putt for a 2 a chance. He's made his par, but now he would need an eagle 2 to close to tie with Kingston.
Yes, have to do what Philip Archer did on the 9th. Hole his second. That's the way to Archer got his eagle.
So really now it all seems to come down to whether or not Baker can make 3 at the last.
Keep it right of the bunker, you can see in the distance, but that's pulled away to the left for Horn. But 109 mile-an-hour club head speed converts to 243 metres carry, just over 300 yards. Now Baker must keep it down the right. And he's managed to do that. What's the club head speed? Well over 100 miles an hour, 106. And 200 and what's he going to get? 64 metres. That's just under 290 yards. Big tee shot from Baker.
David Shacklady still had a very real chance when he birdied the 10th to go to 12 under, but he's been stuck on that score ever since. No longer though. What a way to finish. 68, 67, and with that at the last, a closing 68. Another very good week for Shacklady.
Well, can he make his 3, Andrew Marshall? Having seen Shacklady chip it in, he can. Nice pressure putt for the rookie. 11 under. I think he'd be pleased for his week's work.
So Keith Horn is now in the situation De Silva was in a short time ago. This has got to go in.
Not easy from just that first cut of rough. Won't get as much spin maybe. But he's pitched it into the upslope and it did stop pretty quickly.
And now it really is between Kingston and Baker, who has to get up and down from here to force extra holes.
At least he just managed to cling on to the fairway, got some grip, got some spin, and he's got it underneath the hole, so every chance he can make that one.
Yeah, when a player is waiting on the fortunes of others, this is always where you'll find him. James Kingston hoping he's hit his last shot of the day, but keeping warm just in case.
Maybe Baker will get some idea of the pace of the greens as he watches Horn try and make his birdie coming up the slope. And neither of them hold too many putts so far in this final round. Horn's done well with the little putts, but not hold too many long ones.
Disappointing day really for Rate. Tied for the first round lead with that 64 and was only 2 back going into today, but he's been left behind a bit.
And he gave that one the gun, so a little bit of meat left on the bone there for Rate. Just over 2 feet, 2.5 feet, but well done.
Yeah, 72 though, far from what he needed today.
So the stage is set. Can Peter Baker find a way to hole this putt to force a tie with this man?
Yeah, Kingston has left the range to come out and see for himself, joined by his wife Renette. This then to tie.
And in an effort to get it to the hole, he's just overread the borrow.
And in a way, it sums up his day. It's another missed putt, and it all means that James Kingston, with that round for the ages, 61, is champion here for the second time.
Testy little putt for Horn to finish up with. But like so many today, managing to find the bottom of the cup.
And so the last moment of the week falls to Peter Baker, not in the way he would have hoped, but it's back-to-back runner-up finishes for him to go with those 3 wins he's had this season. He'll share second place. James Kingston is the champion. Special mention for Paul Eales and Malcolm Mackenzie, both in their 60s now, and both in the group sharing 6th place. De Silva's astonishing back 9 earns him a tie for second with Baker. A day to forget for the Englishman, but it still took something truly special to beat him here at San Domenico.
Mr. James Kingston.
3 times a Legends Tour winner now in 3 successive years. Here in 2021, then in Switzerland last year, and now back in Italy again.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Every time you shoot 61, you obviously have to do a lot of things well. You've got to hit the ball well, and then you've got to putt well. And today, again, I did both. I drove the ball well, gave myself so many chances, and when I was presented with a chance, I made the most of it and made the putts, which was a great feeling. This is my happy place by the looks of it.
And it all gives him a top 5 place on the MCB Road to Mauritius, climbing from 12th. De Silva's joint runner-up finish moves him just behind Baker and into second, overtaking Senior Open champion Alex Checa.
The end of an incredible week in Italy, and what a fantastic way to win a tournament as well. A course record 61 from James Kingston to take the title on this course for a second time. I think he quite likes this place. We're back next week in La Manga, Spain for the Farm Foods European Senior Masters. We'll see you then. Bye for now.